It was a moonless night, and I found myself driving down a seemingly endless stretch of desolate road. The only illumination came from the dim glow of my headlights, casting eerie shadows that danced along the edges of the pavement. The air was thick with a sense of isolation, as if the world had slipped into a slumber, leaving me alone in the vast darkness. As the miles passed, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The road seemed to twist and turn in ways I couldn't remember, and the landscape shifted subtly with each passing mile marker. My surroundings felt unfamiliar, as if I had ventured into a world untouched by time. I reached for the radio, hoping that the sound of a voice would break the suffocating silence. Static crackled through the speakers, punctuated by distant whispers that sent shivers down my spine. I quickly turned it off, my heart racing with unease. My headlights caught a figure standing by the side of the road up ahead. A hitchhiker, perhaps. My instincts screamed at me to keep driving, to not stop for anyone in the dead of night. But something compelled me to slow down, my curiosity getting the better of me. As I approached, I saw that the figure was a woman dressed in a tattered white gown. Her long, dark hair hung in disarray around her face, obscuring her features. I felt a pang of sympathy for her. She looked lost, vulnerable. Against my better judgment, I pulled over. The woman approached, her gaze fixed on me, her eyes shimmering in the faint glow of my headlights. Her voice was barely a whisper as she asked for a ride. Without thinking, I unlocked the passenger door and she climbed in. The moment she entered the car, an overwhelming chill washed over me. I could feel her icy presence seeping into the air around me, freezing my bones. I forced a smile, attempting to brush off my unease as I asked her where she needed to go. Her voice was soft, barely audible over the wind that whistled through the cracked windows. She spoke in fragmented sentences, her words cryptic and disjointed. She seemed lost in her own thoughts, lost in a world that existed beyond my comprehension. I glanced at the clock. Time seemed to be slipping away faster than it should. The minutes blurred into one another, and I realized that I had been driving for what felt like hours. I looked around, my heart pounding as I realized that the landscape around me had become unfamiliar, foreign. The woman beside me turned to me, her gaze penetrating into my very soul. Her lips curled into a haunting smile, revealing teeth that gleamed in the darkness. My hands tightened on the steering wheel as a sense of dread washed over me. "I can take you to your destination," she whispered, her voice echoing in my mind. "No, I need to turn around," I muttered, panic rising in my chest. Her laughter was a chilling melody that reverberated through the car. "You can't go back now. You're on the desolate road." I looked ahead, and in the distance, I saw the road stretch into infinity, disappearing into a void of darkness. My heart raced, my mind a whirlwind of fear and confusion. Hours turned into eternity as I drove down that endless road, the woman beside me a silent companion. My mind was a haze of terror and uncertainty, the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred beyond recognition. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the road ended. The car came to a halt, and I stared out into a void of nothingness. The woman turned to me one last time, her eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. "Welcome to the end of your journey," she said softly. I opened the car door, stepping out into the emptiness. The woman's laughter followed me as I walked, the sound echoing into the abyss. And there, in the darkness, I found myself alone, lost on the desolate road.